Okay, I'm back with part two. I didn't want to have to do part two, but here we are. I'm gonna have to invest some time in making sure this doesn't happen again, and I apologize that it's two different readings, but I'm just gonna continue. If you didn't see part one, you'll need to see part one for the rest of the story here. It's kind of important. So anyway, like I was saying with this king, that I kind of stress. Um, how changing this can affect these here, right? This part of the journey we all go through, the lessons we all learn, right? Um, the moon can be illusion and deception. It's kind of a truth you cannot admit to yourself. Insecurity, mental confusion, it's conflict that really requires deep self-examination. And I just get a feeling that you haven't done much of that, or that's just difficult for you to do, or there's something blocking you from doing that. You may really, like this card above it here, the Four of Pentacles, you may really be in a victim mentality or a lack mentality, and you're not seeing, um, you're not empathizing or understanding the perception or how you affect other people. I think you know how powerful you are at affecting other people, but you're not using it to introspect or to be kind. I think you're kind of using it to win. I don't know what game you want to win, but in the long run, I just don't think this is the way to do it. You have so many really great qualities. You just don't believe it about yourself. You know, the moon, when it comes up, it's also very much associated with water signs. I really see Cancer in the moon. Um, you know, um, it, it, it talks about shadow work, which is another, Carl Jungian concept. The moon as an archetype signifies a time of desolation and a requirement kind of to pass through this desert and these aggressive dogs, in the fool's journey. This is the moment of truth. It's the dark night of the soul. It casts light and shadow on what was previously unseen, and sometimes it's hard to look at. The moon is also the feminine, emotional depths. The moon represents water signs, like I said, and controls the tide. In this relationship, if you choose to move forward, it can show you a lot about yourself. If you can bear to really hunker down and do the shadow work, right? The Hierophant reversed is it's still kind of indicative of just less than ethical behavior on your part. It can be, part of your personality too, that you reject kind of traditional values. You don't like people telling you what to do. You have a problem with authority. This might sound like you. Maybe you challenge the status quo. It's, the Hierophant reverse kind of says, remember you're your own teacher. If you go within, if you seek the answers within, you don't need this external approval to succeed. That, we've talked about that a few times. Some insecurity here, some trying to find your worth in other people or material things. And it's just not doing it for you. Hierophant reversed, kind of the energy that comes with it. This kind of insecurity that presents this way sometimes as a result of some trauma, abandonment, especially neglect, just feeling that there's nothing you can do to be loved. So you need to pretend to be someone else. you know, he makes accessible to man that the transcendental world that you can only reach through intuition. And the moon is all about intuition, and cups are all about intuition. So I really think this is really trying to tell you how you've got to learn to be with yourself, to be introspective, to face the truths that you don't want to face if you want to move on, right? It's not about control. It's not about manipulating others. It's not the way you've been doing in life, at least during this relationship. It's going within. It's the Hierophant in this position is kind of the bridge between dogma and experience, right? So here's where we're going with this. This person with the Knight of Swords, they're ambitious, they're more action oriented, they're working more career oriented or education oriented endeavors, even creative endeavors. They're not waiting. They're not waiting for someone else anymore. It's not anymore that, well, I'll start doing this once I have this love, or I can start, like they're just gonna go find a way to love their life and hope somebody joins them in it, but hopefully they're happy enough that it won't matter. They'll still be fulfilled. They want somebody that compliments them. They want it equal. So they're not gonna wait to progress. With all these cups, I feel like they really did love you, or they do love you, but they're just ready to progress. And also it could literally, with these knights, it could literally mean a duel, This person is angry. And I don't think that you feel that you're the only one at fault here, and that could very well be the case. Or maybe you're both angry. That might resonate for a few of you. And Nine of Swords reversed, I see there were a lot of sleepless nights crying terrible pain for this person. But reversed, it's kind of releasing all of it, releasing it so they can move forward. It's been so difficult. Like fucking heartbreaking is what I feel. But it's the end of a painful cycle for them. And sometimes cycles don't end in a nice way. And with the Knight of Cups here, they're creative, they're romantic, they're charming, beautiful, right? I know you were attracted to them. Y'all were incredibly attracted to each other. I can tell at one time. It kind of looks like they were a page here and they offered it, and now they're ready to just storm in and give their love to someone. Or themselves. And really it kind of looks, I don't see a lot of romance going on over here. Even with these cups, there's nothing solid. These are all knights and pages. I think this is more about self-love. They're saving themselves. Which, what else are they going to do? Because I think you kind of abandoned them. Because over here, with you, is a Five of Pentacles reversed. It's about overcoming adversity, recovering from losses, learning to forgive, making positive changes, and letting go of relationships. So you're leaving this toxic thing behind so you can focus on your own self-growth too. And I think that's freaking awesome. That's what needs to happen. I hope you make it here. I hope you're here already. And the Lovers reversed, also, it still talks about this broken relationship and infidelity. Whether the broken relationship you're thinking of is this person or that person, because they're kind of all mushed together here. You had a lot of feelings and a lot of people mixed up in this, even if they weren't aware. But this broken relationship, this infidelity, it's a mess, right? How can this new relationship even survive this? How can it be repaired if it started on such volatility and there's already so much resentment built up? Um, unless somehow y'all are just different than the norm and how most humans behave when they feel cheated or unloved. Um, I don't think you are, but I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you're above all of it. I don't think that the new relationship's going to work out. And that's tough because you left this person behind. Um, um, where does that leave you now, right? The lovers is a choice between two. One's nurturing, right? A queen and a witch. She can be overwhelming or too protective, but the others is vanity, fantasy. The grass is greener thing, excitement, freedom. But reverse, she's petulant. She's demanding. She's not as sympathetic and understanding as a cup, that's for sure. Water signs and fire signs are very opposite. Maybe that's what appealed to you. But the problem is, it appealed to you, but she doesn't have the traits that your other person had that help keep you grounded. Y'all might just be out having party right now, but it's going to end, and it might already be ending. And I really think her ego is just as big as yours, right? In order to be your own person, you had to free yourself from the regressive pull of these kind of relationships. I really have a feeling this is not the first time. I feel like this was a cycle and this was a cycle, and likely there was a cycle there before that. Maybe this person doesn't even know it, but they were this person, right? For some of you, that's true. That it's not working. Stop doing it. Just stop. Don't regress. I mean, that's a fateful and potentially fatal choice you have to make. And here's a Queen of Cups reversed. And that's why I say her and the Wands are just very opposite of each other. Because the Queen of Wands reversed is clingy. I wonder why there's no trust. She lacks some empathy that usually she had, like her, there's nothing coming from her cup. She's all upside down. This has to be a really interesting dynamic. There's really two big egos here. Queen of Cups reverse is kind of disorganized, manipulative and smothering, but there's a lack of trust. And so there's probably tracking and spying and questioning and accusing and all the things that come with that, right? And you get to decide if you get what you deserve, though, right? I don't see any chance for reconciliation here. I think that this is a lesson and it needs to end. And this person is ready to move on. They love you a lot, though. But I think that, it's going to be over with this Three of Pentacles. The third party situations cause this, not going to be repaired. There's no growth here, it's dissolved, right? And the advice that Spirit's kind of giving you is the Hermit, back to Jung. He says solitude doesn't equal separation from human connection. You have removed yourself, from this participation mystique, which you're very much a part of because you like other people's approval. It's joining this primal unconsciousness of the masses. It's getting out of that. It's how you initiate the process of realization. It's how you start a new journey. It's realizing that no matter where you go, you're going to take yourself. So figure yourself